الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وآله وصحبه أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And special greeting to all my lovely children here today. Last week I was talking about the family of Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, Jesus, and I mentioned that his grandmother Hannah or Anna, she could not have children, and she prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if he would give her a child, she will dedicate the child to the service of Allah in the temple. And Allah gave her Mary, and Mary was assigned to the care of Zachariah, Prophet Zachariah alayhi salatu wassalam. And I also mentioned that Mary was so pure and devout, and she spent all her time praying, prostrating herself, kneeling and praising the Lord all the time. The angels used to communicate with her on regular basis, and they commanded her to pray regularly. They also gave her the glad tidings of having a child without a father. So psychologically they were preparing her for the important moment when Archangel Gabriel will appear later in her life in the form of a man and will give her the news that she is going to have a boy. Now, while this was happening, Zachariah invoked or supplicated his Lord to give him an heir. And the angels told him that he is going to have a son called Yahya, John the Baptist. And he wondered, he questioned the angels. And he asked God, how can I have a child when I'm so old and my wife is aqir? The medical condition, as I mentioned last week, of the wife of Zachariah was aqir, which means she undergone surgery, she had no womb. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him that you are going to have a son. If Allah decrees something, he simply says to it, be, and it becomes, it happens. There is nothing difficult with Allah. And as I mentioned last week as well, if you read in Luke in the New Testament, chapter 1, verse 37, it says, it's not, as far as God is concerned, nothing is impossible with God. Anything can happen. Whatever He wills, it will happen. Now, today I would like to read a few verses from Surah Maryam, Mary chapter 19, to explain exactly what happened to Mary when she became pregnant and when she delivered Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. But before I talk about this, I want to ask the children. Children, please, no adults to answer that question. What is the name of the first man created by God? What is the first? Yes? Adam. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Now, children again. Who was the father of Adam? Children. No one. Excellent. And who was his mother? Who's the mother? Yes? No one. Excellent. So Adam was created with no father and no mother. You remember this, yes? So Adam had no father and no mother. Was it that difficult for God to create someone out of clay and breathes into him from his soul, and then he becomes a man? Is it that difficult? Nothing difficult with God. Nothing is impossible with God. Okay? So remember this. Now, what is the name of the first woman created by God? Yes? Hawa. Excellent. Very good. In English? Eve. Excellent. Very good. Well done. So, who was the father of Eve? No one. Who was her mother? No one. That's amazing, isn't it? We know in the tradition that Eve was created from a rib, from Adam's body. And this rib was fashioned to make this beautiful mother of all of us. So when we talk about Adam and Eve, we are not the children of God. We are the children of whom? Adam and Eve. So children, remember this please. We are not the children of God. We are one of His creatures. He created us as He created others. So our parents are Adam and Eve. We did not originate from monkeys. And this does not stop us from learning about evolution and reading about it and trying to understand what is the meaning of evolution as far as Islam is concerned. Do you remember, my dear children, a prophet called Abraham alayhi salatu wassalam? Yes? Do you remember Ibrahim? What was the name of his first wife? Who was his first wife? Huh? Who was the wife of Ibrahim, the first wife? My goodness. Sarah, you just woken up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Sarah was the first wife of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Now, when Ibrahim, you see, all his life he had no children from Sarah. Up to the age of 100, when Ibrahim was 100 and Sarah was 90. Ibrahim married another woman. He had two wives. What was the name of the second wife he married? Hajar. And what was the name of the son they had? Ishmael. Right. So now at the age of 100, according to Genesis, at the age of 100, and Sarah was 90, and Sarah was barren. Aqim. This is the medical condition of Sarah. Aqim. The wife of Zachariah was Aqir, and the wife of Ibrahim was Aqim. She could not have children at all her life. Since she was young, now she is 90, the angels gave her the glad tidings that she is going to have a son when she was 90 and Ibrahim was 100. Children, is this difficult for God to achieve? Does this make Adam the son of God when he was not? Does it make Eve the daughter of God? Does this make Isaac, Ishaq alayhi salatu wasalam, the son of God? No. Because when Allah wills something, He just says to it, be. إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. Be, and it is. Khalas, finished, done. Now, so Ishaq cannot be claimed to be the son of God because his father was very old and the mother was barren. No. When Zachariah, the very old man, was given the glad tidings, the good news that he's going to have a son called Yahya, John, and his wife was not suitable to have a child because she undergone surgery, she might have removed her womb. Does this make John the son of God? No, it doesn't. Now we come to the story of Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. And I'm going to read from Surah Maryam, chapter 19. You will notice that in Surah Ali Imran, chapter 3, Ali Imran means the family of Imran, and Imran was the grandfather of Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He started the story of Isa, before telling us anything about Mary and Jesus, He told us the birth of John, the son of Zachariah. Why? There must be some resemblance between the two cases. And then in Surah Maryam chapter 19, the same thing was repeated again. At the beginning of the surah, Allah told us the story of Zachariah and Yahya. And then now He is telling us the story of Mary after that. At the beginning of Surah Maryam, chapter 19, Allah is saying to us, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, كافها يا عين صاد ذكر رحمة ربك عبده زكريا. This is a mention of the mercy of your Lord to His servant Zachariah. So by giving him a child at old age and his wife cannot have children, it's a form of mercy from his Lord. Behold, he cried to his Lord in secret. إذ نادى ربه نداء خفيا. He was so concerned about the feelings of his wife. He did not want to hurt the feelings of his wife by saying to Allah, my wife cannot have children. On the other hand, the wife of Ibrahim was not embarrassed to say this in public to the angels. When they came to visit them, she said, أَأَلِدُ وَأَنَا عَجُوزٌ وَهَذَا بَعْلِ شَيْخًا. Am I going to have a child when I'm so old and my husband is so old, ancient? Shaykh, ancient, 100 years old. So she was so happy to talk about her condition. She was not embarrassed. But the wife of Zechariah was young. Elizabeth was young. And that's why he did not want to hurt her feelings. How many men would hurt the feelings of their wives by saying to them, oh, you cannot have a child, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Zechariah was so sensitive regarding the feelings of his wife, so he invoked the Lord very quietly. Can you move forward, please? A lot of people are waiting outside. Please, just move forward. There's plenty of space. Just move. Keep moving, please. So, Zechariah in Surah Maryam chapter 19 was given the same message as mentioned in chapter 3, the family of Imran. And he praised the Lord continuously and constantly for 3 days and 3 nights. And he came out of his room and inspired everyone to do the same. And as I mentioned last week, if you need something from your Creator, pray a lot. Increase the number of prayers you used to do. Increase it. Pray more and more. If you get it, give thanks. Don't turn away from your Lord because you had what you prayed for. If you don't get it, know it is good for you that you did not get it. Maybe something else is better for you, hidden in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you to have later. Or maybe the thing you've been praying to get, maybe it was not going to be good for you. So do not despair. And do not stop praying because you don't get what you want. So I'll leave now the part of Zechariah, and I'm going to talk now about Mary, starting from verse 16. Every year in the Christmas card we do here, we mention the birth. Every year we have to mention the birth of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, as it is in chapter 19, starting from verse 16. Now, relate in the book the story of Mary when she withdrew from her family to a place in the east. She placed a screen. Hijab in Arabic, hijab means a screen. Hijab doesn't mean the head cover of a woman. A head cover of a woman in Arabic, in the Quran, in the language of Allah, is called khimar, not hijab. Anyone who uses the word hijab for the headscarf is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And unfortunately, the majority of the Muslims now are using the word hijab. Hijab means a screen. She cannot see anybody and nobody can see her. And that was the command to the wives of the Prophet ﷺ to, whenever they will be asked about anything by strange men, they should always talk to them behind the screen. The woman cannot see the man and the man cannot see the woman. And this only applies to the wives of the Prophet. It's not a command for Muslim women. Only to the wives of the Prophet ﷺ. So Mary here, she screened herself fully from people. Then we sent to her our angel. Archangel Gabriel came to her and he appeared before her as a man in all respect. He came as a man. So suddenly in her room she saw a man standing there. She was so worried. What are you doing here? Please, don't come near me if you fear God. I seek refuge with God to protect me. Please don't come near me. So she said, I seek refuge from thee to Allah most gracious. Come not near if you fear God. قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. I am only a messenger from your Lord to announce to you the gift of a pure son. Now, you remember in chapter 3, Mary was psychologically prepared for this announcement. This took place in An-Nasirah, Nazareth. And the place there, they built a huge church known as the Annunciation Church. You will also find this picture on the Christmas card as well. Archangel Gabriel appeared to Mary there and gave her the good news or the glad tidings that she is going to have a son. Question, the same. قالت أن يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أكن بغيا. بغيا in Arabic means a prostitute. I'm not a prostitute. How can I have a child when no human being ever touched me and I'm not a prostitute? I'm not unchaste. BBC World Service, religious service, last year recorded a very interesting program called Joseph, the earthly father of Jesus. And they invited me to give an Islamic input regarding who is Jesus, who is Joseph the carpenter. He's known in Arabic as Yusuf al-Najjar in the Islamic tradition. In Christianity, they believe that Mary was engaged to Joseph, and then they were engaged to get married, and then when she became pregnant, Joseph was very upset and very sad that she betrayed him. And then she explained to him, no, the angel came and told me so and so, so he believed her. In Islam, we completely refuse this, and we say Yusuf al-Najjar, Joseph the carpenter, did not exist in her life at all. Because if he did, it means we would doubt the virgin birth of Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. So the angel responded by saying, so it will be, your Lord says, that's easy for me, and we wish to appoint him as a sign unto men and a mercy from us. It is a matter so decreed, khalas, finished, gone. I'm not going to change it. So she conceived him and she retired with him to a remote place. She went all the way from the north of the Holy Land there, from Nasira, all the way to Bethlehem down there. Again, in Christianity, they claim that they were going to have what we call sense, exactly, and that's why she belonged to that area, so she walked to go to that area there. فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا. She conceived him and she retired with him to a remote place. Why? She was so worried that her people would accuse her of doing something evil. A very pure and chaste woman, a woman who spent all her life in prayers, and the angels used to communicate with her on daily basis and provide her with provision. Suddenly she is pregnant. She had to disappear. She had to run away. So she went to a remote place, and while she was there, the pains of childbirth drove her to the trunk of a palm tree. I want you to imagine this. A little ربوة ذات قرار ومعين in another chapter. Rabwa means a high land, a little bit of a high land. There was a palm tree there, and there was a stream of water down there. So she cried. She said, I wish, or I would that I had died before that, and that I had been a thing forgotten. She wished, or she preferred death than facing her people with such a thing. So the moment she delivered Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, the moment he came out of her womb, he spoke to her immediately. But a voice cried to her from beneath the palm tree, do not grieve, for your Lord has provided a rivulet beneath you, a little stream beneath you, a little river beneath you. So, وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِذْعِ النَّخْلَةِ. So shake the trunk of the palm tree towards yourself. Have you ever tried to do that? Impossible. Impossible. Nobody can shake the trunk of a palm tree. No way. I tried it personally. I went to one of the, you remember when we were there in the Holy Land? I tried. No way. Forget it. You can't. As a result of this, ripe dates will fall upon you. So eat and drink and cool your eye. And if you see any person today, any human being today, say, I have vowed a fast to Allah most gracious, and this day I enter into no talk with any human being. Couldn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made the dates drop on her without any effort? He could, yes. But to show us, we have to work to earn our daily bread. You cannot sit on your bum and say God is going to send from heaven. It doesn't work like. You have to go out and try to do your best to earn your daily bread. And then Allah will help you. And in a hadith, Prophet ﷺ says, if you put your full trust in Allah, He will provide to you in the same way He provides to the birds every day, every morning. They leave their nest with empty tummies and they come back in the evening with full tummies. But we have no trust in Allah, unfortunately. So Mary was commanded by Isa, the newly born child who just been born, to shake the palm tree, and the dates fell. Dates also have a lot of benefits. They stop bleeding, very nourishing. They have a lot of vitamins and minerals and sugar. So it's a good thing for a woman who just delivered her baby to have dates as well. So did she dump that child in the local park in Ilford and walked away to her people? Did she leave that child in front of a mosque or in front of a church? No. She carried that child, and she was so courageous. She carried that child on her hands. I want you to live the story of Mary. I want you to live the fear, the pain, the agony of Mary. Please, we all need to feel this. When I looked at the size of my grandson, who was born 2 weeks ago, and I looked at his size and tried to imagine Isa, that little, talking to his mom and commanding her what to do, it's a miracle, a great miracle. So she brought the baby to her people, carrying him. They said, "Oh Mary, لَقَدْ جِئْتِ شَيْئًا فَرِيًّا." My goodness, you have brought a strange thing. What is this? Oh, sister of Aaron. Now they go back to her ancestor, Harun, the brother of Musa. Oh, sister of Aaron. مَا كَانَ أَبُكِ امْرَأَ سَوْءٍ. Your father never been a man of evil. وَمَا كَانَتْ أُمُّكِ بَغِيًّا. Your mother was not a whore, was not a prostitute. Your mother was not unchaste. How dare you do that? فَأَشَارَتْ إِلَيْهِ. She pointed at the baby, at the child. They said, "Are you making fun of us? How can we talk to someone in the cradle? كَيْفَ نُكَلِّمُ مَنْ كَانَ فِي الْمَهْدِ صَبِيًّا." Are you making fun of us? That's the meaning of the verse. How can we talk to a child just being born? Then the message came from Isa. Isa was the only prophet, the only messenger of Allah who delivered the message from the cradle. Now what did he say? Listen very carefully. "I am indeed a servant of Allah. He has given me revelation and made me a prophet. He has made me blessed wherever or wheresoever I be, and has enjoined on me prayer and zakah as long as I live. He has made me kind to my mother." One of the greatest qualities of Isa, that he was so kind to his mother. And one of the greatest qualities of John the Baptist, he was very kind to his parents, according to the Quran. وَبَارًا بِوَالِدَيْهِ. How many of us are kind to our mothers, are kind to our fathers? The role model here is Isa and John. وَبَارًا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. He made me so kind to my mother and not overbearing or unblessed. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. Peace on me the day I was born, the day I die, and the day I come back to life again. John, Allah said it. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْهِ يَوْمَ وُلِدَ وَيَوْمَ يَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ يُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. Allah said the same thing exactly about John. But here Isa is saying it about himself. ذلك عيسى ابن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون. Such was Jesus, the son of Mary. In the Quran, always Allah will call Isa son of Mary, son of Mary, son of Mary, Ibn Maryam. Few verses he didn't mention the word Ibn Maryam, but most of the verse he said Ibn Maryam. It is a statement of truth about which they vainly dispute. It is not befitting to the majesty of Allah that he should beget a son. Glory be to him. When he determines a matter, he only says to it be, and it is. So Let me summarize very quickly while we are having the collection, and then I have a few announcements to make. When we talk about Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, we must also remember Zechariah. We must also remember Isaac. And we must also remember Adam and Eve. These are known as miraculous creation and birth. So the fact that Mary did not have a husband does not make Isa the son of Allah. And we reject this. In Islam, we reject this fully, and we say Isa is not the son of Allah. Cannot be. In Catholicism, unfortunately, they call Mary the mother of God, and they believe that God is one of three, and Isa is the son of God. So every year when we send this Christmas card out, we send a message. We send the true message from the Quran to all our brothers and sisters in the world, telling them this is what we believe in, and we are not going to change our mind. And as a result of this, we have in fact delivered the message to the head of the churches, to the bishops, to the Pope, to the Queen, to the royal family, to the embassies, to the churches, to the queens and the presidents and the kings in Europe. And then you will start to get replies from these people, because they are not like some people in the Middle East. You would write to, they will never respond to your message. I mean, this is Prince Charles, and the card came today from Prince Charles. Leave the camera, Rafiq. Came from Prince Charles and his wife, and on the back it says, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall would like to thank you for the kind message you sent at Christmas. It was much appreciated by them. The Royal Highnesses send you their best wishes for a very happy New Year. And then there is one from number 10 here, and the signature by the Prime Minister and his wife. And there are many cards here from the embassies and from other people. So it's still valid to send a Christmas card, because it is a New Year greeting as well. So please, if you haven't sent one to your teachers or to your neighbors, please take a card and post it. Even if it gets there first week in January, it doesn't matter. You have delivered a message. On the day of judgment, when you will be questioned, have you delivered the message of Islam, the true message about Jesus? Yes, I did. I bought a Christmas card for 50 pence, and I posted it to my neighbor or to my school teacher. May Allah bless you all. On Sunday, the 25th of December, inshallah, Brother Abu Alia will deliver a talk regarding Al-Masih Ad-Dajjal, the false Messiah, or the Antichrist as he known, and the end of the days. So it will start, inshallah, at 6:30 p.m. after Isha. The Isha is at 6:30 to after Isha, inshallah. So please, if you have the time, come and listen. You will learn a lot of things about this.
Before you start, when you said
Yes.
Arabic,
Yes. I wasn't to mention about the car park.
no, you want the car, but you
Yeah.